Florida bracing for its second major hurricane in less than 2 weeks.
Here's the latest on Helene. 140-mile-per-hour winds.
Life-threatening storm surge is expected. You need to evacuate.
All eyes on the western Gulf. Milton, potentially a major hurricane upon landfall on Wednesday afternoon.
So I've been in Dunedin for 40 years, and in my lifetime here, I've never seen anything like it. I live in a house that was built in 1952, never been a drop of water in it. And even though we evacuated our home, we didn't expect anything to really happen. I still remember texting with my neighbor, and I texted her and I said, "Can you see our house? Is it flooded?" She hesitantly, I'd asked for it twice, sent me a picture of our home. It was just this eerie picture with the light on the porch, with the water just below our window. And we knew then we were totally flooded out, and that was the gut punch.
I have been through many hurricanes, but never two in a row like that. And I really learned the definition of unprecedented, that's for sure. Helene was a storm surge event. Milton was a wind event, and I remember standing at the doors of the EOC and seeing that wind and just thinking, oh, I hope they're okay. After every storm, unfortunately, it's become a ritual. The fire chief, the mayor, and I get in a truck and we drive through the city. For Hurricane Helene, the first place that we went was the marina. And the pier from Edgewater Arms was above our fishing pier, and it was about 40 feet up. That's the first moment that I thought, oh my God. When the sun started coming up, we went along the areas, along the coast, the homes, and the people who were dazed. That was when you know that you have an event on your hands that's going to define the city for quite some time.
I know so many people were facing that same thing. They'd never been flooded, never had a drop of water, and walked into their homes and just saw everything destroyed. And I have to say, it was the most emotional moment, because you opened your front door and the floor was just streaked with a bunch of mud and all over everywhere, and you could see where the water lines were and where it had soaked all our furniture. And we had containers that were loaded with water that had pictures. The pictures were the hardest. There was pictures of my dad who had passed away, my brother who died of cancer, and that stuff you just can't replace it.
I think that my number one job as a city manager is to remain calm. And I'm certainly able to do that given the amount of preparation that we had. We run through this, we practice it over and over and over again. So the question is, how do we get through this? But that's not a question, because we have to get through it. One person can be strong, but a community can be resilient. And using each other and helping each other was what really made this city special. Looking out on those front steps when we're deploying ice and deploying water, and people who just come up on golf carts, you know, hey, throw it on, I'm going to this neighborhood, and we did. You know, the volunteers, people just coming to help. That, to me, was Dunedin Strong.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the song, Angels Among Us. It was just about people that come to you in your hour of need. So there were just people that came out of the woodwork. And it didn't just happen to me. You know, the Rotaries, the volunteers, our employees, everybody was chipping in to help. So you knew, like, we're gonna be okay. And actually, this is the silver lining, to know how great your community is, how much your community can lift you up and can lift all of us up that we're going through that at the moment.
I knew this is a special community when I came here, but it really showed itself this last hurricane season for sure. The community itself pulled together in every way. Neighbors helping neighbors when that neighbor was flooded as well. That speaks to resiliency. People think that's a thing or an exercise or tasks, but it's really fundamentally about the people and how it is that we bounce back. And we do it because we have each other.
Despite everything that happened, we are Dunedin strong and stronger together. Each sunset reminds us that the sun will rise again tomorrow.
that tonight's gonna be a good night, that tonight's gonna be a good night, that tonight's gonna be a good night.
Oh, what a video. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the 2025 Dunedin State of the City. I'm Katie Ducharme-Procisi, the chair of the Chamber of Commerce, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all today. At the Chamber, we deeply value our strong partnerships with the city, our dedicated staff, our incredible residents, and the thriving business community that makes Dunedin so special. We're proud to be a presenting sponsor of this event, and as the mayor so perfectly stated in the opening video, we are Dunedin strong, and together we're even stronger. Before we begin, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of the city departments and our city and county partners who took part in the pre-expo in the lobby tonight. Your contributions are invaluable to our community. And of course, a special thank you to Chef John and his team at Palette Culinary Services for the fantastic bites. I hope you all enjoyed them. Now, it is my distinct honor to introduce Dunedin's Mayor, Maureen Mo Freeney, as she delivers her very first State of the City address. Mo Freeney, the stage is yours.
Hi, everybody. Okay, I got to get rid of a couple sheets of paper, drop a pen, and we're good to go. So thank you, Katie, wherever you went. There you are, right there. Okay. And thank you, all of you, for joining us tonight. Welcome to the 2025 State of the City. I'm honored to be here tonight for the first time as your city mayor. Our State of the City is an opportunity to reflect on 2024, look ahead to our future, and share our projects, plans, and priorities for 2025. The video look back at 2024 reminded us that even though there were 12 months in 2024, the months of September through December dominated our memories and the way we are charting our course for our future, which you'll hear a little bit about tonight. Despite the destruction and interruptions from Helene and Milton, our community came together in the face of adversity to lift up and to support each other. And that continues still today as we rebuild and recover. Drywall is going in my house right now, so. We are Dunedin strong, and much like the video ending with every sunset, the sun will rise again tomorrow. So I'd like to introduce my colleagues, who I'm honored to be part of the commission with them. First of all, I would like to introduce Vice Mayor Jeff Gow. Commissioner Rob Walker. Commissioner Tom DeGard. And last but not least, Commissioner Steve Sandbergen. I also want to introduce some other dignitaries that are in attendance. We have an empty seat here for former Mayor and County Commissioner Dave Eggers, so maybe he'll show up. But pick on him, though, if he doesn't get here, okay? And then we also have our former Mayor and now our President of the Chamber, Julie Ward-Bajowski. And I'm proud that we have the Executive Director of Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council, Ren Kroll. And in the lobby is former Commissioner and Vice Mayor Deborah Kynes. Let's hear it. She said she had to stay back there to help them cheer and yell back there. So anyway, we have started to honor someone at these. Last year it was Manny Kutsarias, former mayor. And this year we wanted to honor Tom Anderson. Tom won't be here tonight. He's recovering from some health issues, but he's moving forward well. And so he'll be watching this, so when it's time to clap, make it good. So Tom and his wife Alice moved to Dunedin in 1982. Tom is a veteran of the U.S. Navy. He served as Commissioner of the City of Dunedin between 1990 to 94, as Mayor of the City of Dunedin between 1994 and 2002, and as a member of the Florida House of Representatives from 2002 to 2010. Tom is a champion of many important causes, including senior care, safe aging, and public safety. During Tom's term as mayor, various staff who worked with him, which include myself, knew him as smart, caring, efficient, and very level-headed. One of Tom's many great achievements as mayor was being the swing vote in 1995 to disband the city's 100-year-old police department and contract with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. And as you can imagine, for those who might have been here, it was very controversial. This courageous decision saved Dunedin taxpayers approximately $2 million per year, or to date, about $60 million. It resulted in a 25% reduction in the city's tax rate while retaining quality law enforcement services. Tom represents the best of public service and has been an inspiration to many others. Let's give him a big hand. So what we'll be presenting to Tom at a later meeting will be a key to the city. And it says, the Honorable Tom Anderson, in appreciation of your many years of dedicated service, devotion, and commitment to the City of Dunedin, February 27th, 2025. Thank you, Tom. So now we're going to go to this really exciting stuff called strategic planning, right? So we're proud to have completed the strategic planning project for the City of Dunedin last year. The project incorporated extensive stakeholder engagement and community forums, many of which some of you participated in, and many leadership workshops. Building on the community feedback, the City Commission finalized 7 strategic themes to shape the city's long-term vision and priorities, which will be our guiding framework for budget planning, operational strategies, and community initiatives. This is your strategic plan. One of the key outcomes of strategic planning project was the development and adoption of the city's mission and vision statement. You, the residents, were key to identifying the most important aspects of our community that built the foundation for our adopted mission and vision statements. So listen to this. Our mission, or our purpose and reason for existence, is to improve the quality of life for all by listening to the voices of our citizens and providing quality services through responsible financial stewardship. That's our mission. Our vision, or what we want to achieve in the future, is to cultivate a vibrant, inclusive community that treasures its history, champions sustainability, and fosters a safe environment. With our mission and vision as our North Star for the Commission and City leadership, join me in welcoming Dunedin's amazing City Manager, Jennifer Bramley, as we present the State of the City. That song was okay. That was okay for your wife.
Commissioner Gao said, was that David Bramley? No, it's Larry Vians, I think. I don't dance as well as the mayor, or even the former mayor, but I try.
And that's sad then.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and good evening, everyone. I, too, want to welcome everyone to our 2025 State of the City. It is wonderful to see so many people come out for our second State of the City at our beautiful new City Hall. Standing room only here in the chambers. Overflow into the lobby. And by the way, lobby people, how are you? They have champagne out there, that is correct.
Yeah, we're doing something wrong, Jennifer.
I know, yeah. And we are live streaming as well on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And this is going to, can you hold it? I'm going to knock over my water as I turn my pages, and so. We have used this chamber in 2024 in a very public way, which is as it should be. This chamber has seen a lot of activity, with residents attending city commission meetings, our Hurricane Expo last year, nonprofit events, and town hall meetings to listen, learn, and have their voices heard. We also used it as a cooling station after the hurricane. Some of you may recall that, where residents who didn't have power could come in, get a donut, coffee, and plug in and continue to work. It was very important, actually, for our residents. We thrive here in Dunedin on community engagement, and can you tell? Can you tell? In fact, it's one of our brand pillars in Dunedin. Every voice counts. It's my pleasure to work with committed residents, business owners, and our hard-working City Commission and staff. Our department directors are all here this evening, and they're all dressed up, and they look very nice, I must say. I don't normally get to see them like this, so they all look very nice. And they are standing along the back wall over there. Everybody wave, department directors. And I'll say this now, and it's not in the script. This is the best team I've ever worked with, and thank you. Great. Are you crying? The mayor's crying, the former mayor. Have you met me? Tears already. I also want to introduce this evening to you our Deputy City Manager, Jorge Quintas. Hard-working Jorge Quintas. Thank you, Jorge. Okay, so let's get the boring stuff out of the way. Loans, taxes, and budget. Oh my. This is the state of the city, and so we must talk about finances. People often ask, what portion of your property tax comes back to municipal government? You may be surprised that only 24% goes to the city. More than 60% goes to other public agencies, including Pinellas County and the Pinellas County Schools. Did you know that? No. In addition to property tax, the city's total revenue of approximately $133 million comes from a few other areas, including fees for water and wastewater, stormwater services, solid waste services, also program revenue for parks and recreation, and other user fees in various departments at the city. Of the total revenue of the city, user fees and fees, property tax accounts for only 15% of the total. City expenditures total nearly $139 million in fiscal year 2025. Wait a minute. That number is slightly larger than the current revenue, as many of our funds had to build up cash reserves allocated toward pay-as-you-go for projects to reduce our debt and funding needs. In terms, we build up our revenue in order to pay forward some of our cash needs. Operating costs are the largest percentage at 52%, and since we're a service industry, that makes a lot of sense. That includes the cost for all departments and funds several key items, including the sheriff's contract. And we're actually the largest contractual city with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office in Pinellas County. We also fund facilities improvements, health insurance benefits for employees, and property tax and liability insurance. Personnel costs represent 28% of the total expenditures. Unfortunately, in 2025, we really can't have a state of the city without talking about storm damages and storm damage costs. Total estimated storm damage citywide is $24 million, and city staff is still fine-tuning the damage assessments. Debris removal, you remember that? Yeah, I sure do. Debris removal in the city was significant with these two storms. Staff estimates a total of $4.9 million, which we expect will be 100% reimbursable by FEMA. Already, we've received $2.4 million from that total from FEMA as an expedited payment. The majority of the other costs, $19.1 million, we expect to be reimbursed as follows, and it's on your screen. 75% FEMA reimbursement, and we're very, very careful to ensure we meet all the FEMA guidelines so that we will get that reimbursement. 12.5% from the state of Florida and 12.5% from the city, and that equates to $2.3 million in cash that we have to pay out. The total estimated storm damage, as I said, citywide is $24 million. Over the past years, we've been working to increase our reserves. We've been working very hard at that. Our reserves, that's our rainy day fund. We found out just how important this is to have a healthy reserve during the past year. Our healthy reserve in the general fund, which is our main checkbook, and other funds in the city, with that we afforded some flexibility on how we pay for our storm-related repairs. In essence, when those hurricanes hit, our reserve was so strong that we didn't have to immediately worry about cash payments, as many other cities did in Pinellas County. So, you might wonder, how are we going to pay for all this? Storm costs will be paid with short-term financing as follows. First of all, interfund loans. An interfund loan is a loan from one fund within the city to another. And we can only loan the money from one fund to the other for a period of 3 years. What it means, essentially, is that we borrow from ourselves to pay ourselves back within 3 years. Don't we wish you could all do that? In everything you do? Now, two things that really help us in terms of an interfund loan. First of all, it's a very low interest rate. It's even just like a user fee from one fund to the other one. And the other part is that we don't incur debt when we borrow from ourselves. We don't incur the cost of issuing the debt when we borrow from ourselves. We're also going to extend an external line of credit with our bank. And what helps us there is that that's tax exempt. Diversifying our repayment for damage allows us to have the necessary cash on hand that we need for the ordinary day-to-day things and to replace and repair damaged assets within the city. We anticipate reimbursement from FEMA and the state of Florida within the next 3-year time frame. When the reimbursements are received, we will pay down the short-term loans, both internal and external. So my message to you is we have a plan. We have a very solid plan, and that plan was in place before those storms struck. Let's take another look at our reserves and at how we're able to prepare for the past year and how we're preparing moving forward. I keep on talking about reserves. That's because they're really important. Reserves are important for flexibility, for emergencies, and for cash flow. Think of it as your own checkbook, and you always want to have that healthy reserve in your checkbook. Current reserves are estimated to be 21.4% of the general fund personnel and operating expenditures. In essence, it's 21% of everything that we need for day-to-day operations. It's well above our 15% mark, which is in our financial policies. And again, that helps us have flexibility when our storm damage costs occur. Bond rating agencies monitor reserves very closely, and decreases in reserves below our 15% may be viewed negatively by the bonding agencies when we issue debt. I'm very proud of the work our teams have done to get us in this position. It's taken years. Making sound financial decisions, adhering to those budget methodologies, and being fiscally prudent have created an environment in which we can allocate more into reserves or our rainy day fund for storm events such as Helene and Milton. And by the way, there's a Debbie and a Dahlia as well. That work is mostly done in our finance office, but also by all of our employees and our city leadership, many of whom are here today. Ultimately, though, it is the hard work of this city commission and previous city commissions who made the very difficult decisions to balance resources and expenditures to deliver to all of you an A+, a AA+ rating from S&P, which equates to a 700 or 800 credit score, and a city with a strong reserve while still realizing large-scale, impactful projects. And one thing that I need to do, Mayor, before I hand it over to you, if I may, I need to introduce Jennifer Cowan, who is our city attorney. Jennifer, stand up, please. Thank you. I didn't see you standing there, and I really didn't want to miss you. So Mayor's going to talk about some of those larger scale projects. Mayor?
So thanks, Jennifer, for all that exciting stuff, you know. I mean, hey, let's get some interesting projects going up here. We got to wake everybody back up, right? Okay, anyway. Our residents enjoy and expect, as we all know, a high quality of life, excellent city services, and community amenities which attract people to Dunedin and make our coastal community a truly delightful place to live, work, and visit. Let me take a few minutes to highlight some of the projects and plans that were underway in 2024, which will move forward in 2025. As we plan for the future, it's important to know where we've been. Our rich history is part of our legacy and part of our brand story. So first, did you know that our treasured Dunedin Public Library is celebrating its 130th anniversary on April 25th, 2025? That's pretty exciting. Founded, there's Phyllis back there cheering the loudest. Founded in 1895, Dunedin Library is the oldest library in Pinellas County. Its original site was at our beautiful Edgewater Park. The inception of the library occurred when Mr. Christopher B. Boughton, a winter resident from Cleveland, go Cleveland, presented 200 books to Dunedin for public use. The library has been in numerous locations throughout Dunedin before its current building since 1996. Please make sure to visit the library during the month of April for the many activities and celebrations library staff and friends have planned. In late 2023, we said goodbye to the old City Hall, also a former library location on Main Street. Since the demolition, staff has been working with architects on plans for a beautiful new pocket park, which will anchor the east end of downtown and add natural outdoor space to our more than 350 acres of green space. The Commission recently saw conceptual plans for this pocket park, which will feature a brick plaza, brick seating walls, a pergola, lighting and landscaping with a plan for future restrooms. And of course, we are preserving the majestic 200-year-old grand oak on the site along with the other existing trees. So stay tuned on that one as the project moves forward through review and approval process. As many of you know, we recently added brand new pickleball courts at Eagle Scout Park, and we reopened the historic Dunedin Golf Club, which was renovated and restored back to the original Donna Ross golf course design. Along with the restoration of the course, there is a newly remodeled clubhouse, featuring the restaurant Highland House, which is open to the public. Getting great reviews on all of that. Mm-hmm. Now, one I'm particularly excited about, thanks to a generous donation of $35,000 from the Kiwanis Club, the Kiwanis Playground at Highlander Park will be upgraded this year. A new Life flooring system was recently installed, which is a top-of-the-line cushion system to help prevent injuries and protect our little ones. In addition, 4 of the original shade structures have been replaced and new spray features added. Also, at the Highlander Park Aquatic Complex, while the current pool has served our community well, it is leaking badly and it is obsolete. It is long overdue for a major upgrade. The master plan for the new pool complex is now under design. The plans will include a number of new amenities, among them a 25-yard competitive pool, an activity pool with 0 depth entry, 2 large slides, which will be great for teenagers, and a therapy pool. Special thanks to the Billheimers, who are Dunedin residents, for a $1 million donation for this therapy pool, which will serve all ages in Dunedin. See how much more exciting this is?
Oh, just you wait until my next part.
Last but not least, the Gladys Douglas Preserve is now ready for Phase 2, which will include a pier, kayak launch, restroom facilities, picnic shelters, and an observation platform. Plans for basic infrastructure and utilities will also be incorporated into the design. Staff will be bringing the engineering and design service agreements to the commission in April. So, okay, Jennifer.
Thank you, Mayor. So now let's talk about economic development and community development. Thank you. Thank you. Affordable housing is a #1 priority across the state, and certainly in our city, and certainly according to our citizen survey. In a community that is primarily built out, it's not as easy to attract affordable housing developers, but we have done just that with a new project that will be off 580 just behind Lucan's Liquor. A 78-unit development was conceptually approved by the City Commission earlier this year. The development will consist of 42 one-bedroom units and 36 two-bedroom units, serving households with an income level ranging from 30 to 80% of the area median income, so low-income households. Construction is anticipated to begin at the end of 2025 and will take approximately 15 months to complete. Isn't that great? Yeah. And we're always looking for more opportunities for affordable housing. Ocean Optics. As we reported in last year's State of the City, the Ocean Optics site has been purchased and the developer is looking to bring forward a mixed-use concept sometime this spring. So stay tuned. For inquiring minds, we have no updates on Gateway. Other than that, we know that the project or the owner of the site, Mr. Kokolakis, intends to eventually bring forward a reimagined plan for the site, most likely when Skinner Boulevard is a little bit closer to completion. And with a possible redevelopment of Ocean Optics, we will be losing a popular parking lot in the center of downtown. In fact, in the windshield surveys that we've done, it is the most used parking lot in downtown. One of the challenges when you're a destination like our delightful Dunedin is parking. We all know that, right? Yeah. And honestly, there will never be enough parking to fill the needs during our big downtown events like Mardi Gras, which is coming up next week. Who's going?
And who's the king? He's in the room. Vince Gizzi.
So Vince Gizzi is our Director of Parks and Recreation. Vince, wave. Vince's last day will be March 4th, and I can tell you, he's having a heck of a final lap around here. So plans have been in place for more than a year for the proposed parking garage on the site, and it's behind Skips. And why is it every time I point to something, I'm telling you it's behind a bar or a liquor? Because this is Dunedin, right? And this is kind of how we roll. Anyway, it's on the corner of Douglas and Scotland. That's currently the gravel lot. Everybody knows it. Design concepts for the 192 parking garage recently went before the Architectural Review Committee and will go before the City Commission on March 6th, so it's coming right up. And that's going to be for review and public input. So stay tuned or attend if you'd like to see it and provide the City Commission with input. Now, we all know that with progress comes a little bit of pain. And we're experiencing that with FDOT Skinner Complete Streets Improvement Project. It's now currently underway, as I'm sure all of you know. The north sides of the roundabouts have been under construction since the project began last August. But we will soon see a detour flip as they begin to construct the southern part of those roundabouts. We're pleased to announce that the eastbound detour flip to the westbound will take place after Mardi Gras, with a tentative date of March 12th. And in fact, and in fact, you know, in dealing with FDOT, the Florida Department of Transportation, it's interesting in Dunedin because you say, don't mess with Mardi Gras. And they're thinking, what? Anyway, FDOT and the city, under Sue Burness's tutelage, will also be advertising the detour in all of our social media outlets, and we will be promoting local businesses as well that are being impacted by Skinner Boulevard Complete Streets project. This Complete Streets project includes reducing travel lanes, constructing 2 roundabouts, and adding a multi-purpose path connecting the Pinnells Trail, making it safer for pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists. The $9.2 million project, which is funded by a number of different entities and not just the city of Dunedin, is expected to be finished in early of 2026, and it is on schedule, and if not, hopefully running a little bit early. As we reported last year, the Coca-Cola plant is for sale, and at this time, we have no news to report regarding any potential buyers. We continue to meet with Coca-Cola, as they have been great partners in all the years that they've been in Dunedin, and they do understand that we have a vested interest in what sort of development will occur on that property in the future. Coca-Cola has graciously agreed to make a donation of 5 acres to the city, allowing for flexibility and future expansion of our wastewater treatment plant. And speaking, yay! And that would be reclaimed water. And speaking of community partners, Mayor Frady wants to recognize the many community partners that have been so supportive, especially during the storms. Mayor?
Thank you, Jennifer. You did good. That was
Thank
a great
you.
cycle.
I tried.
Yeah. Picked it up. You're picking up the game.
Tried to make it exciting and interesting.
And Vince helped with being the king and all, you know.
Yeah,
so.
it's good to be
right.
king, yeah.
So our partners really showed us this year how important our community is to them. Our nonprofits like Dunedin Cares and Dunedin Fine Arts Center and all sorts of community organizations from churches to the Chamber, Rotary Clubs, and Junior League, and many Dunedin businesses participated in helping neighbors, homes, and residents with post-storm cleanup. We connected over 24 local volunteer organizations to nearly 50 residents in need through our Dunedin Strong initiative to help from moving furniture, mucking out, cleaning out, packing, removing drywall, delivering meals, and more. Our community partners showed up for us in a big way this year. They were our angels. Thank you. Our Blue Jays operation and facility staff also answered the call in a big way by helping with home cleanup and food and ice distribution. Not only do these Canadians call Dunedin home part of the year, many of their full-time operational staff live, work, and play here. We are so thankful for the many years we've had the Blue Jays call Dunedin home. For this upcoming 49th season, we welcome them back to Dunedin, and we look forward to celebrating our 50th anniversary next year. And speaking of visitors, sales and bed tax from visitors continues to be strong in Pinellas County. According to data from Visit St. Pete Clearwater, in 2024, visitors to Pinellas County had an $11.2 billion total economic impact. Spending increases are led by increased shopping, dining, and entertainment. Probably a few bars in there as far as the entertainment goes. According to Visit St. Pete Clearwater, Dunedin's visitor numbers increased from 6%, or roughly 950,000 total visitors to the area in 2023, to 12%, or roughly 1.8 million total visitors in 2024. Despite storms and the impact to travel, Dunedin now ties with St. Pete Beach for the 4th most visited city in Pinellas County. Other regional partners are playing an important role as well, both in preparation, planning, and funding for regional projects. Organizations like Forward Pinellas and Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council look to address issues like resiliency, storm preparedness, and transportation from a regional perspective. In Dunedin, Forward Pinellas supports transit-related projects and planning efforts like the Skinner Boulevard State Route 580, Complete Streets Initiative, and Beltree's Safe Streets Project. These projects identify safety improvements for vehicles, for bicyclists, and for pedestrians. Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council this year is focusing on developing a Tampa Bay Coastal Master Plan to enhance resiliency across the region by advancing implementation of flood reduction projects. This is just one of many initiatives to help our communities, our neighborhoods, and our citizens focus on preparation for sea level rise, resiliency, sustainability, and post-storm redevelopment. Protecting the charm of Dunedin starts with our coastline.
Thank you, Mayor. And by the way, if you weren't aware, our mayor is the chairwoman of the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council. Thank you. Thank you. So that's a big deal, and we're really proud of her. So, speaking of resiliency, this year's storms revealed the most vulnerable areas of our community and presented us with more challenges to try to identify short-term and long-term solutions to the issues of coastal flooding. Our vulnerability assessment, a 2-year-long project, will identify our vulnerable areas and low-lying areas that will continue, unfortunately, to see challenges in the face of heavy rains, high tides, sea level rise, and unfortunately, more hurricanes. We don't have all the solutions to what it will take to make these areas more resilient, but we're not alone. All across the state, our neighbors are dealing with the same challenges. Phase 2 of the vulnerability assessment is the creation of an adaptation plan or an action plan. There are state-funded grant programs that require the adaptation plan to be in development in order to qualify for those grants. As we move to this next phase, we will go after all possible funding sources regionally and at the state and federal level to support these projects and help us achieve our goals. As I mentioned, some of those short-term solutions have already been implemented. Before Hurricanes Helene and Milton, and by the way, this is the last time I'll use this, since they were so close together, I just call them Hilton. It's just easier. So, before Hilton, in 2024, we installed new tidal valves, and additional valves are scheduled in 2025 in our low-lying areas. We hired consultants to evaluate options for short-term improvements to sunny day flooding in low-lying areas like North Douglas and Baywood Shores. After these 100-year storms, we evaluated the impact of our drainage and stormwater systems and reported back to the City Commission. In fiscal year 2025, we have a strong focus on proactive and preventative stormwater maintenance, repair and replacement of aging stormwater infrastructure, with capital projects that focus on resiliency, flood mitigation, and water quality. This includes the purchase of a closed-circuit television camera truck, a CCTV truck, for a condition assessment program that will include running cameras in stormwater pipes to assess their condition, more infrastructure inspections, and assessments of our stormwater assets on a routine work plan. Projects budgeted for this year include North Douglas drainage improvements, Washington Street drainage improvements, San Charles drainage improvements, stormwater pipelining, citywide ditch maintenance, roadway drainage improvements, and replacement or repair of various stormwater pipes and gabion boxes in certain areas of the city. Let's talk about the marina. It was severely damaged by the hurricanes, both of them, of 2024. One of our top priorities is to see the marina become functional once again. We know being displaced has been hard for many of our active boaters, for our recreational users, and for our commercial captains. Earlier this week, we brought a remediation plan before the Commission to address the most pressing issues of repairing that damaged bulkhead, there it is on the slide, of replacing critical infrastructure like water and electric within the basin of the marina. On Tuesday, this last Tuesday, the City Commission supported making these necessary repairs a priority so that the marina users, the park users, and the surrounding businesses can return to normal. With the Commission's approval on Tuesday, we are moving forward as quickly as possible for stabilization of the seawall, replacement of the fishing and day dock and the pier, replacement of electrical pedestals in the basin, and review of floating dock materials. This work takes time. Site design, architectural drawings, permitting, and finding qualifying contractors. We will work swiftly and quickly as possible to address these priority repairs. We do appreciate everyone's patience, as there have been a lot of moving parts and challenges for staff across the city as a result of this year's past storms. We will continue to provide you with updates on the marina, the vulnerability assessment and adaptation plan, and infrastructure investments, resilience, all of these focused on protecting our coastal and low-lying communities during City Commission meetings, public engagement opportunities. Please be sure you are subscribed to the weekly Dunedin News e-newsletter, which is the best way to stay informed on news and city updates. Our meetings are live streamed on our website, and this one is being live streamed as well, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and soon, very soon, Spectrum Cable. Yay. You can now watch City Commission meetings on these platforms live or on demand. Thank you. Mayor?
Thanks, Jennifer. And I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight for our 2025 State of the City. As you can see, the state of our city is strong and it is resilient. We will be stronger together, especially from everything we survived and learned from 2024. As we wrap up our State of the City, I want to share 2024 reflections from my colleagues and their visions for 2025. "2024 was a tough year for me personally, including being flooded out of my own home. My proudest moments were being elected as your mayor in November, and then seeing how neighbor helped neighbor as we recovered and continue to recover from the storms. We are a strong and resilient community with a loving spirit."
When I look back on 2024, it's probably no different than you. The first two-thirds of it are now gone. They're a blur. The hurricanes just swallowed up everything about 2024. While some of you are still suffering, and I understand that, as a community, we really came together. I was getting calls about people that didn't have a place to stay or food to eat. And then the next call would be somebody who had little to no impact and they wanted to know how they could help. And it was wonderful to see these two groups getting to come together. That for me really made me proud. What a sense of community.
We cannot look back on 2024 without acknowledging the hardships our city faced during the hurricane season. But despite these unprecedented challenges, our community demonstrated resilience, compassion, and solidarity. Now we move forward with lessons learned from the importance of disaster preparedness to the need for sustainable and resilient growth.
2024 was more than 3 counter-cyclones of wind and water. They were a test of our ability to respond to an extraordinary set of challenges. I have been told that you cannot measure a captain by calm waters. The best captains are measured by their skills in a storm. Dunedin was measured, and we can be proud of our response.
As a 40-year resident, I've watched Dunedin survive some challenges, including the 2008 recession, the COVID pandemic, and now the devastation of Debbie, Helene, and Milton. Each day, the hurricane scars are become smaller in our rearview mirrors, but the impacts of these storms are still with us and will be shaping the way we live and govern for years to come.
We will take on 2025 together with our collective strength and unwavering spirit. Our future is bright, and we are Dunedin strong.
We learned so much through that hurricane season of getting organizations together with residents, getting residents together with residents. As scary as the concept of hurricane season is, I think we will get through that in a much better position because we are Dunedin strong.
As we clean up and fix up from those dark nights in September and October, we face the future with a stronger sense of community and a better sense of what needs to be done to improve our sustainability. I am proud to be a part of a community that has bonded through the best of times as well as the worst, and approaches both with the same sense of love for our hometown, neighbors, and Dunedin. So when we are asked, what is the state of Dunedin? We can all say with pride, we are stronger together.
In 2025, we will continue the quest to repair, rebuild, restart from the hurricanes. We will continue to offer any support we can provide to our residents still suffering. Since being elected a city commissioner, I am seeing Dunedin through many different lenses, and all of them remind me every day of the quality and the charm we so enjoy. Why Dunedin is truly a delightful place to live, work, and visit. Together, we will continue to lead this city into a bright future. We are Dunedin Strong.
As I look to 2025, my priorities are to continue to help the city and our citizens to fully recover from the storms, prepare for future storms, including fiscal responsibility, the importance of a slow, steady, stable budget, and always protect the special charm and vibe of our community. Because we are Dunedin Strong, and together we're stronger. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for caring enough to come and learn about and celebrate our amazing Dunedin. Thank you.